This is practice exercise 7. I'll set this particular project up in JavaScript, so we'll use Node for this one. Let's go ahead and review what we've got. Again, as always, you're always welcome to use any language you would like, and in fact, I encourage using the other languages. We want to find the largest number among 3 numbers. So given 3 integers, the task is to find the largest. So here's an example. We've got A, B, and C, 10, 22, and 19. Output should be 22. That is the biggest number of them. Similarly, A is 12, B is 7, C is 9. We would expect 12 to be the largest number. So that's the basic idea. There is a hint down here if you want to use that, but let's go ahead and run through. So since we're using JavaScript, I need to create my folder. So I'll put this in my C code delete me folder. Let's create a new folder. This will be largest, let's call it find largest number. And then I will right click and let me copy really quickly into this. Let me copy the MD so that everything's in one place. And now I will right click and open with code and close the other one. Expand the font for you a little bit so we can see it a little better. All right, so we're back to where we were. Now that we're in our project, I'm going to control backtick. That'll open up the terminal, and we'll run npm init. Get rid of the Windows Explorer. There we go. npm init. Wait for that. There we go. Package name I'll leave. Version not worried about. Description not worried about. Intro we can leave. Test command. So we can use one of the various test commands. I'll use Ava today. I think I used Mocha last time, so we'll just do Ava. I'll just do something different. Get repo not worried about. Keywords not worried about. Author. You can put your name. You don't have to. I'll skip this one for now. License not worried about. Type. We do want that to be module. And then yes to confirm. If you missed module, if you hit enter too fast, don't worry about it. You can go back into the package.json. Here's the type. You can just change it to module and save the file. That's it. All the init does is just auto-generate this file. You could do this manually. The init just prompts you to make sure you don't miss something. All right, so we've got that up and running. Now we do need to get Ava installed. So npm I Ava big D. All right, so we are set up and ready to go. And it has been a moment since I started an Ava test. So let's do new folder, test, new file. This will be largest number. So find largest number.test.js. All right, so now that we've got that, let's go and do our test. So we will, I don't think we describe, I think this just straight out does a method. I think it's the test method. So let's do an import test from Ava. I believe that's what we're looking for. Yep, there's our test FN. Okay, so test example, let's say find largest numbers, example 1. And this needs, so this is going to need a T object. That'll be the way we do our assertions. All right, let's go and convert to tabs, make sure everything's formatted. Excellent. All right, so just to make sure I've got this up and running, since it's been a moment since I used Ava, we'll run npm test. All right, perfect, so I found it. All right, so our test is set up and ready to go. Now that we've got that, let's get back to our example. So we've got A, B, and C. And I can copy, I can basically just leave those as is, or I can move these to new lines. I'm normally not a fan of declaring multiple values in the same line, so let me go ahead and just break those out into multiple lines. All right, so here's our A, B, and C. Our output, or expected, is 22. We got those set up. Now we're ready to figure out how to write the actual code. So we could just call straight into a function if we wanted. We are in JavaScript, or we could create a class if we wanted. That would mirror more what we're going to do in C# and Java. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to create a class. You don't need to. You could certainly just create a global function or a top level function. So what we're going to do is we're going to basically, we need some object that is going to find numbers. It's going to find the max number. So it's a number inspector. It's a number evaluator. Oh, I like that, number evaluator. Okay, so let's create our evaluator. New number evaluator. And our evaluator, let's going to say get max value. And we'll say evaluator is find largest number. And we'll give it A, B, and C. Now that we've got that, we want to do T dot, let's see, assert. So assert, that's truthy. So basically we want to say expected equals max value. All right, so there's our AVA test. Let's go ahead and copy and paste this. We'll do this for test example 2. Now, example 2, it's 12, 7, and 9. And we want it to be 12, I'm pretty sure. Yep, there's 12. All right, so there's our test. Let me go ahead and close this so we can see them. So here's our test setup. Everything's looking pretty good there. Now, we do need to define number evaluators. So let's go ahead and create a new folder. I'll call this one src for source. And we'll create a new file in there. We'll say these are number evaluation.js. And inside here, we'll create a number evaluator class. Let's export it. And then we'll need to import it. Make sure to include the .js on the end. And we also need our find largest number method. This is going to take A, B, and C. I could rename them here if I wanted to. I could call them first, second, third, or X, Y, Z. It doesn't really matter, but I'll leave them the same for now. And then we'll simply do nothing for the moment. All right, so let's see if we can at least get our test to run and see if we get the failure. So npm test. Value is not truthy. Oh, that's interesting because I think it is truthy. Oops. Let's try that again. Oh, because it's coming back false. Right. It's not truthy because it doesn't evaluate to true. So we are getting the failures that we'd expected. The reason that's happening is find largest number is returning undefined because it's not returning anything. So we're all set up. I think we're ready to go. So now that we've got this, here's all of the code inside the test file. Make sure that you've got that. Pause the video if you need to. And then in the number evaluator class, your job is right here in this method. You want to implement this method here to make those pass. You're going to evaluate these values. Lots of different ways to do that. Good luck on your journey.